everyone involved. Y'all just pieces of this puzzle. Okay, this guy's a fucking lunatic. Thank you. You know you're fucking crazy when the craziest motherfucker in the room is like, fuck is he talking about? Alright, what's good, y'all? How we back again? Today we are here right after I recorded part 5 with the investigation. There's no waste no time, let's get to it. Ashley is dying. Let's get to it. I dragged my feet as Missy and I made our way to the crime scene. We're doing this again, this horrible thing. I think I read this last time, but I fucked up. Let me save it here already just in case. Searching for the culprit behind this sickening scene only to put them on the chopping block for the game to continue this afterwards. The cycle was torturous. Despite that, Ashley was alive. Tried to clear my head. Yes, Ashley was barely hanging by a thread of life. Yeah, I read all of this. Okay, so I did some of this already. I'm not gonna lie, but I wasn't recording at the time, so I'm gonna do it all over again. The kiosk has been knocked over. There's a faint streak of blood on the scene. It appears to be broken. How do you figure? I'm just taking a shot in the dark, but I think the Monokuma file was printed from the casino kiosk because this one wasn't operational. Cannon has the victim report if you want to take a look. Okay, so Cannon has the victim report. Probably some technology involving the proximity or some such. I really couldn't say since this sort of thing is out of my depth. I need something to grab on. I wonder if the kiosk being knocked over has anything to do specifically with what happened here.
Self-voicing enabled.
What the fuck?
Chapter 2.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
Voicing disabled.
You hear this dumbass shit talking about ear and shit? Like, I can't say. How would he even say it?
Self-voicing enabled. Chapter 2. Investigation. Missy Vesper. The streak of blood implies that it may have been interacted with.
Bro, shut the fuck
disabled.
up. But to what extent is beyond me. Like, they didn't even give bro like a good voice. The kiosk beyond. Like, what the fuck? It's a robot. The kiosk being knocked over may have just been a casualty during whatever struggle occurred here, but the shriek bothered me. Nah, somebody clearly like was touching that. It's a blowtorch. So that's what he was getting from the kitchen earlier? Huh? What are you talking about? You recall I crossed paths with Cyrus earlier this morning, a bit before I started tearing the rules before destroying the oven. It was a brief meeting, but I was curious as to why he was in there as well. He must have smuggled the butane torch out. And you didn't say anything? Why should I have? I mean, you could have stopped him far in advance from wherever he was going to do with it. He's dead. Clearly didn't get the chance to do anything anyway. Mystery's revolver, the weapon that took Cyrus's life. The gun handle is covered in blood. 4 shots are fired, leaving 1 bullet. Quite a few people knew about the gun, so it might be difficult to determine who wants to retrieve it. An overturned gasoline container. It's almost empty. Ew, it smells in here. Yeah, the smoke lounge wasn't really a pleasant place to begin with, but this... What do you mean? Well, when Ash and I visited the smoke lounge for the first time, the air was heavy with cigar smoke, I'm assuming. So to see liquor and gasoline spilled all over the place and adding to the smell, it's not helping much, I'll say that. I see. I didn't want to visit this place beforehand, so I can't really say. But I'll take your word for it. But gasoline seems out of place here, doesn't it? Yeah, I wonder if it came from the garage. The gun wound was front and center in Cyrus's chest. Blood had soaked through his shirt. The deep pigment inundated the cloth and oozed onto the carpet. The gun would very clearly told his cause of death, but my eyes were curiously drawn to Cyrus's blood-stained hands. The blood could have only come from one source, his wound. He must have tried in vain to stop the gun wound from bleeding out. I trembled at the thought of what ended up being a futile act. Broken glass and torn fabric littered the floor around and underneath Cyrus's body. A struggle occurred here, that's for sure. It took place before Cyrus fell. The display case must have broke during their altercation and he was killed sometime after, falling atop the refuse. Yeah, I was trying to say, like, last time I was recording that, he, like, clearly the glass broke first and then he fell on top of it. Because if he would have been, like, after he died, the glass would be on top of him and not under. But since it's under him, we can clearly put together that it happened during the fight and he was still alive. Another thing that's weird to me, if y'all paid attention to the last one, that shit where they found the body played when 3 of us found Ashley, but she's not dead. So why did it play? Maybe it was because there was 3 people in here when Cyrus was found. That makes sense. It seems like the only way the room could have gotten so messy. Well, of course. No one was going to be cautious about their surroundings with their life on the line. Luckily, the blowtorch didn't ignite, otherwise we might have come across a fire-consumed scene with nothing but destroyed evidence. I guess it is lucky. Let's go with Missy. Say's not that useful. So, 4 shots were fired. 4 out of the 5 extinguishing bullets in that gun's chamber. 4 shots. I noticed, however, there are 3 holes in the wall of the smoke lounge. Then those 3 weren't the ones that killed Cyrus. Yes. 1 bullet is lodged in his chest. The problem is finding out in what order those shots were fired. Which one was the one that killed him? Missy furrowed her brow. Echo? Her voice was a hushed whisper. I sincerely hope this hasn't tarnished your view of me. Huh? It's very clear that this crime has my name written all over it. I was the one who revealed the gun to be in my possession. I was the one who left it out in the open. And I have no partner to support my whereabouts during this crime. And despite that, I cannot tell you my alibi. Huh? Why not? Missy, what would you have me think after you just said all that? Please, trust me. I don't know if I can. She sighed. I cannot argue with that. We'll just have to let the trial discuss and command our judgment. I must try to produce a compelling enough argument. Missy. Law looked particularly aggravated. This place is a mess. There's no mistaking the fact that a struggle occurred. That seems to be the case. It's a shame I wasn't closer when this took place. Even after I swept the 3rd floor earlier this morning, I managed to miss something as big as this. Call it bad timing. About that, where were you this afternoon after the fact? Huh? Are you suspecting me? Well, no. Yes, bitch. It would help just to know where you were so we can say you're in the clear. That was what Say. But didn't she keep herself locked up in her room all day? Beats me. All I know is that after I heard the second gunshot sound from somewhere upstairs, I saw Say poke her head out of her room. I dragged her out for my safety and I hauled her around with me to find out where the shots were coming from. We were on the 2nd floor by the time the 3rd shot went off. So you 2 can vouch for each other's whereabouts? Yeah, what of it? Nothing. So La has an alibi that can be verified by Say. I should talk to Say and see if the story lines up. What puzzles me the most is where did the gun even come from? Well, I don't expect you to believe me, but it was in Missy's possession. She brought it out to boldly state that she would not. What? She brought it out to boldly state that she would not be firing it. She even recommended we travel in groups in any case something bad happened. So even if by the off chance someone did fire it, we'd be in groups, able to witness alongside our partner. La was astonished. Really? What kind of tactician would reveal their hand like that? I mean, it was a symbol of trust in a way. I certainly am not going to use it to cause harm, and I don't really think Missy would. That side, it also seems like she was micromanaging everyone's expectations and locations by doing so. Lau just scoffed and continued to loom over Cyrus' body. I don't want to say what I'm thinking. Echo. Oh. Say's hands were trembling. I'm so sorry about Ashley. It's scary, but I'm trying to pull through. It was a relief to see her still breathing, but I need to find out who would have had such ill will toward her. That's very noble. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Actually, yes, there is. What is it? I was stuck in the art gallery room when the crime was going on across the hall. Couldn't open the doors whatsoever. I heard some footsteps and voices after some time, so I banged on the main hall's doors. That's right. You were the first person I saw. Do you know why the doors are blocked? Yeah. The double door handles were bound together with rope. I'm guessing it was from the climbing center. So when I heard your voice from inside, I unbound the rope and you came running out. She demonstrated how she found the rope by replicating the state on the smoke lounge doors. Rope? with Ashley to the climbing center. She got the rope to mine Cyrus. Did the culprit steal it from her? I'm gonna say what I'm thinking, and I don't like it, because no matter how it ends, Ashley's gonna die. Ashley killed Cyrus, y'all. Like, there's no way around it. Ashley killed Cyrus, and I think she tried to probably kill herself after she killed him. She didn't want to kill him, but I don't know. Maybe she wanted to keep me safe or some shit, some emotional bullshit like that, right? And I think she tried killing him, locked the door, tried killing herself, and either way, she's gonna die, bro. Missy didn't shoot it. Well, what do you think? Forte shot the fucking gun? Right, they're gonna pull out their ass the weirdest fucking kill of the century. Yeah, Forte did it. Here you go. They ain't gonna do that, bro. They don't sound like it. It doesn't make sense in my head. And then fucking Say and Lyle have an alibi. So that there's two options right now, and it's Ashley and Forte, and I really don't see it being Forte. It's all pointing towards Ashley. She's got no strong alibi. Rope, it was from the climbing center when me and her fucking went, bro. No matter how I'm thinking about it, that's how it went, bro. Rope, I went with Ashley to the climbing center, and she got ropes to bind Cyrus. Did the culprit steal it from her, and instead of binding the doors to lock me in the art gallery? That's strange. I was also wondering where you were earlier this afternoon. I know Missy tried to call you out this morning, but you declined. Say's worried brow furrowed deeper. Well, I just thought after the events of yesterday, if someone was going to kill me, it doesn't matter what I do. What was she saying? And what I wanted to do was stay in my room. Damn, she let her hair down. Okay, the killer could break my door down or whatever. But if it was going to happen, fate would find it. Fate would find a way. So be it. So be it. You know, after I heard she's always had her hair loose, I think. I just never noticed. You know, after I heard the second gunshot ringing outside, I peeked out of curiosity. Who even had a gun in the first place? But it was pointless. Law had to drag me out and run me all over the 3 floors just to find a bunch of nothing. Ugh. Say mumbled a train of thoughts to herself, but it didn't seem like she wanted an answer for her ponderings. I see. Well, thanks, Say. Say seemed to possess a hazard reaction to the recent events. Regardless, Law confirmed that he and Say were together when they heard the gunshots, and neither of them were even aware someone had a gun in the first place. Ash, hang in there, and she's got no wounds whatsoever. Ashley's hands were covered in blood. She didn't appear to have any sort of wounds, so the blood on her hands could have potentially come from only one place. Did Ashley try to prevent Cyrus's death? If that were the case, whoever shot Cyrus could be the same person who took Ashley out so she wouldn't reveal the assailant. Oh, they're still canon! I didn't think about that. The scene is that also seems unlikely though. The scene is quite unruly. I'm uncertain whether it will be more or less difficult to determine the culprit in this scenario, considering the many questionable items lying about. Yeah, as opposed to what happened in Pandora, this is a bit jarring. Where were you though? I remember seeing you go into the garage with Cannon earlier when we paired off to search the 3rd floor. Yes, that is precisely where we ended up. Huh? The two of us were investigating the garage as thoroughly as possible, but found nothing of note. We then went outside to investigate the other personal room doors at the end of the 3rd floor living quarters hall. But as you may have figured out already, these personal rooms doors are locked. Chipkato. I heard him mutter something under his breath as he gazed the blue butterfly pin on his scarf, but I couldn't quite understand what was said. Where was I? Cannon. And I then heard the first shot of 4. We rushed into the garage and barricaded the doors from the inside. You barricaded the doors? We thought it would be the best course of action to protect ourselves. Neither of us had the gun, so it had to be someone else. A reasonable conclusion, is it not? After the first shot and through to the fourth. What? After the first shot and through to the 4th, we hid away in the garage until we had a commotion in 3rd floor halls. It was quite frightening hearing all of 4 of those shots in such close vicinity. I never thought we'd come upon of this gruesome scene. Forte sighed and mournfully looked at Ashley. So Forte and Cannon blocked the doors. That explains why the garage side double doors wouldn't open. I approached Cannon as she overlooked the 2 scenes from the doorway opening between me and the rooms. You're probably wondering where was I this afternoon after we departed to search the 3rd floor. I was with Forte in the garage for a large portion of the afternoon, as well as during the duration of the 4 shots fired. He can vouch my alibi. You and Ashley came upstairs after us, right? Yeah, we did. Didn't run into you two at all though. We spent most of our time in the garage. It seemed to have most potential for something useful out of 4 rooms. Kenan silently surveyed the state of Ashley's body, then across the doorway at Cyrus' distant figure. Oh, here's the Monokuma file. I got it from the casino kiosk. Monokuma file number 2. Cause of death: the victim body was discovered in the 3rd floor smoke lounge. Victim was fatally shot above the heart. The estimated time of death is 12:03. Like Pandora's file, this file is just as purposeless in telling us what happened to Cyrus. As for Ashley, I can't say. You think she might have been attacked? Like hit over the head or something? I guess. It's not possible. She's pretty tall, considering. It would be hard to say what she was attacked with, though. There's nothing on the casino side doors that could be used as a weapon. Our discussion fell flat. You seem a little more open today. Forte and I had a small parlay in the... What? Parlay in the garage. In short, he told me I shouldn't try to forego attempts to escape this game. She grumbled under her breath and excelled sharply. Despite Kenan's frustration, she ended up providing more open conversation today, likely as a result of wishing to avoid being caught in the same voiceless situation she was in during yesterday's trial. What the fuck was that with her hand, bro? I let out a deep sigh. Conducting an investigation was harrowing. I was exhausted beyond belief. Our group was already so small, yet given everyone's paired alibis, it became difficult to say who was behind this crime. It was difficult to say, bearing one person. What was Missy thinking? Has she been lying to us this whole time? Now, let's look at this, y'all. There's only 2 people without an alibi. One of them is on the floor, done. And Missy seems like the most obvious option, but I'm sorry. Ashley, you did something, girl. No, I couldn't jump to conclusions so quickly. It wouldn't be fair to Missy. Regardless, had a bad feeling about all of this. Okie dokie, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the class trial. I hope you had enough ammunition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. The elevator will take you all to the courtroom once everyone has boarded, so make it snappy. The timer for your bracelets to release toxic gas is set for 10 minutes after this announcement ends. Don't drag your feet. I rubbed my forehead in distress. This vicious cycle, we couldn't see the end to continue. We couldn't see the end to continued once more. Why? I think I'm gonna do the class trial as well. We've only been recording for like 28 minutes, bro. I went over Ashley's side and sat next to her. I gently placed 2 fingers at her wrist and felt the faint pulse. It was such an eerie feeling knowing Ashley was alive but still so close to death. Forte laid his hand on my shoulder. Echo, we really ought to get going. Lest we find ourselves in danger from Zero's capricious ways or some shit like that. Yeah, you're right. Forte, would you mind? Not at all. Forte lifted Ashley from the knees with ease, carrying her to the elevator. I followed behind him, trying to keep a close distance to Ashley. Once again, our group apprehensively sauntered into the elevator. Oh, I just realized I didn't even put up my green screen. Our community has shrunk by 3, yet in the elevator cab we divided further. Laose and Kenan Forte with Ashley in my arms, myself and Missy. Destruct hacked away whatever threadbare remaining connection we had, but this time damning signs of pointed at one person in particular, Missy Vesper. Missy provided nothing to disprove those signs. Cyrus has been removed from the picture. Ashley was at the cusp of following. Oh fuck, my headphones are falling. I was confused, hurt, and alone. What was I going to do with during this trial? The doors opened up and revealed the circular room once more. I rushed in and raised my voice, calling the expanse nothing less in the room. Zero, Eve, we know there's an infirmary connected to the courtroom, so please help Ashley. With a flash of symbol for the other announcer, Eve appeared. Echo, there's a cross between for the infirmary and the elevator door. In the elevator, the doors will open on the opposite side of the courtroom, leading you to the infirmary. I turned around the courtroom side, the elevator door opened. I hopped in and pressed the cross button, opening the doors behind me. Forte swiftly carried Ashley and gently laid her on the infirmary bed. He stepped aside as I clambered to the bedside. Hold on, y'all, and I'll figure out how to do part 5 because I forgot to put up my green screen. I was too late to get recorded. Ash, please be okay. It's impossible to tell if she was breathing. Every inhale and exhale was so small and weathered. A glass encasing lowered to cover Ashley, and the monitor above began displaying her vitals. Her heart rate plummeted to 45 beats per minute. I will do my best to monitor her. Please. If your worries at the door, there is a greater matter at hand waiting you. Yes, Echo. We need to begin the class trial. This out of our hands. We can only do so much. The best thing we can do now is find the culprits. Our discussion will reveal what's occurred. Yeah. I steadily step back. Ashley, I'll figure out what happened to you. I swear on my life I'll find the culprit. Might be her, bro. I'm gonna be honest. But, you know, who cares? Forte and I left the infirmary, crossing through the elevator that connected the infirmary into the trial grounds. Heavily clouds hung over the dome glass ceiling. Everyone was already in their places as Forte and I crept to ours. Another murder. It was unreal. Cyrus' mild and unassuming demeanor made a 180 when his talent of ultimate charisma was revealed to be a ruse. He quickly suffered the consequences. His sudden and aggressive temperament coming to a full stop out of nowhere. And Ashley, worrying condition. What could have possibly happened in the 2 rooms we found him in? However, despite the behavior Cyrus displayed, it was still shocking that someone would actually retaliate. Somehow it felt like a hasty overreaction. But then again, a hasty reaction was what essentially pushed Art to bring Pandora's demise. It was difficult to call Art the culprit after the lack of black and white intentions. But in the grand scheme of things, the rules of society were set to deliver retribution to those who commit crimes. Who's to say this place operated under the same condition? The courtroom was eerily silent as we waited for Zero to appear. The atmosphere was justifiably tense. Law and Sage shared similar dark vibes. Kenan and Forte both looked unnerved, and Missy managed to put up a poker face despite the situation.
Yeah, it's about that time you guys got here. And again, I have to say it's so weird how quiet you bunch are. Is no one amped up for another class trial? I put a lot of work into these, you know.
Of course, we're not excited, you knave, what?
Hey, Missy is so mean.
I think it is.
It's a shame no one is excited, but this ball's gonna keep rolling whether you like it or not.
Alright, give me a thumbnail sometime around here, please. I'm desperate. I would read this. Oh, come on now. We know. More like,
Our victim today is Cyrus Suryc, the ultimate charisma. More like ultimate nonsense. Was no one suspicious of his name and talent? I would be. It really shouldn't be a surprise that charisma was not really his talent. Regardless, I called out his dribble last night and look where we are now. You all were quick to take what I said to heart, huh? Well, I'm glad. Saves me from having to get a motor set up and all that. So without further ado, discuss away.
Don't mind if I do. Lyle, Missy, you think you know what I'm gonna say, huh? Then say it for yourself. You think I'm a suspect?
Oh, gold star.
This is hard already. The point is mute. I'm not the culprit, and that's all I'll say on the matter.
And why do you expect me to just roll with that?
Because if you all vote incorrectly, then we'll all be in danger. Prove my innocence, or take my word for it. I'm so smart. Missy, what's going on with you? Don't you think that's a bit much to ask given the circumstance? I have my convictions. I'm refusing to share my alibi for my own reasons. What?
And yet you don't fear the consequences? You're ridiculous. I'll lay it out all nice for you, okay? Then we can discuss whether or not holding your tongue is the wisest thing to do in this scenario. Consider the facts. You were not partnered with anyone. You refused to share an alibi. You're the one who had the gun in the first place. Do you know what killed the victim this time? A gunshot. You likely proposed traveling in groups so you could operate on your own. Isn't this all too damning not to be true?
Despite her dangerously challenging Lyle, I had my belief in Missy steadfast. I wanted, in all sincerity, to trust everyone involved in this horrible game, but considering 2 people have been murdered, 1 executed, and 1 attacked, it was becoming difficult to just justify my stance. I didn't understand. What was there for Missy to hide?
You know what? Forget it. I'm taking charge of this discussion. Once again, I can only rely on myself. Echo, you're a walking record of events. Tell me why I shouldn't think Missy was alone during this crime.
Walking record? I'm not some encyclopedia of evidence, bitch.
Or Cannon. You have some sort of weirdo photo, fess up. Echo or Cannon, I don't care. One of you ought to type up something we can work with. It can't be possible that neither of you two saw anything.
Alright, bro, relax, bro. You getting me mad. I ain't even gonna lie, he getting me mad. Law has his sights set getting something out of me and Kenan, but as far as I know, neither of us could have anything. Shut up, Lyle. I have no photograph of this sort.
when we arrived on the 3rd floor, we didn't see anyone in the halls. I was in the garage with Forte for the majority of the afternoon. Yes, as soon as we heard the first shot, I suggested we retreat to the garage and block entry from the 2 doors, the main hall door and the art gallery door. As for me, after 2 shots were fired, I found myself stuck in the art gallery. All of this is true. The 3rd floor activity rooms can't be locked. Cannon and Forte blocked the garage side doors. And the main side doors were just inexplicably locked? Nah. Hold on. Say, you can recall what happened when we met earlier. Before we discovered Cyrus's body, that is. When we met, he came tumbling out of the art gallery when Law and I arrived on the 3rd floor. Yes, but I couldn't leave the room from the inside. Oh yeah! Lyle, when we arrived on the 3rd floor, there was a banging coming from the gallery. I couldn't check to see who or what was inside until I unwound the rope that bound the double doors together. See, Lau, there's no way either Cannon or I saw anything that happened during the crime. If anything, Say and Lau's whereabouts ought to be grilled as well, since they have more questionable actions than us. Wait, that's right. Say, Missy said you were all alone in your personal room for a portion of the morning. Yes, she declined an investigation to my morning announcement. Yeah. But later after I heard 2 shots, I poked my head out, only to get dragged out of my room by Lyle. This is so useless. They literally have alibis. Why? Oh my gosh. I was investigating the mansion. I figured if anything fishy was going on, I'd have the witness with me to back my testimony. While nothing happened to us in particular, at least I had Say with her, there to support my alibi during gunshots. Despite that, you're still acting suspiciously this morning, smashing the ovens and all. Lyle, don't you think you yourself warrant an explanation for what you were doing? Huh? I don't need to justify anything I'm doing. I'm the ultimate puzzle master. Put in this evil game and solve it inside out. If y'all have had any faith in your ultimate talents, you have faith in mine and my goals as well. I don't care if I break the rules, it's all part of the plan. I'll avenge Art. I'll stop the killings. And I'm solving this killing game on my own, come hell or high water. But didn't it occur to you that I'm on the same agenda? What? There aren't any stakes for you, Missy. Art was the only person I've encountered that made my talent worthwhile. I can only trust myself. I work alone until I can grasp the solution with my own hands. Only then will it be real. Everyone involved, y'all just pieces of this puzzle. Okay, this guy's a fucking lunatic. Thank you. You know you're fucking crazy when the craziest motherfucker in the room is like...
Fuck is he talking about?
Phew, what is this guy even saying? You're an oddball, Lyle. But thanks for reminding me. Reminding you of what? I don't have much power outside the courtroom, believe it or not. Even most of the controls and monitors, all that outside boring stuff. But I knew you all would eventually end up back here soon enough, so I just wanted to wait. Wait. What? Oh, what the fuck? With a snap, the child wall slammed upon to reveal a large symmetrical hexagon adorned with a cruel-looking M. Lyle crumbled to the floor as we backed away, astonished at whatever physical pain was being inflicted upon him. It's a sonic weapon. High-power sound waves from me personally to Lyle. This is what you get for fiddling with my door trap. Oh, what the fuck? I think Lyle's brain has been fried enough. There's no fun or suspense to be had in a killing you myself unless I'm executing a culprit. Don't mess with my stuff. They didn't kill him. It's okay. Somehow Lyle remained standing. Please, we must move the discussion along unless we face this. What? Stop! Please, we must move on. Please, we must move the discussion along. Unless we face a similarly dangerous fate, we need to discuss the case. Shut it, Missy! Lyle was livid, fighting back against collapsing by will of sheer force. I'm taking control of this discussion this time. Echo, I need you to recall as much information as you can about the murder weapon, the gun. What? Who do you think you are demanding such things? I'm Lyle Termina, the ultimate puzzle master. Need I say again? I'll solve this case like I solved all the puzzles that have come my way. Your memories are a tool for solving this, and I'll be damned if I don't use something as instrumental as that. Get to it, Echo. I don't have all day. Alright.
I'll try to relay what I remember to you all. Lon might have it out for Missy, but going over the timeline could help us put her in the clear. He doesn't know what he's fucking doing. He's so clueless. I think it would be... I'm loving how clueless he is. I think it would be best to start from when the murder weapon was revealed. Maybe then we can trace who had it in the final moments. Who was originally in possession of the gun? Missy Vesper. Missy Vesper was the only one who initially revealed the gun this morning. She says she woke up in her personal room with the gun given to her as a test to see whether or not she belonged with the preservation project. Missy called me some of the other students to discuss her possessing the gun. Who were Ashley, Missy, Kelly. Alright, so who was there? No, it was this one. Missy assembled a small group for a meeting. There she brought the existence of the weapon to our attention and discussed the intentions with the gun. She would not cause any harm with it. The group consisted of Forte, Ashley, Missy, and Cannon as well. Everyone at the morning meeting agreed to place and implicit trust in our peers. Missy left the gun in the foyer. After the meeting, Missy left the gun in the main foyer table. Wrapped in cloth, she had been carrying it in. After the discussion, Lau was destroying the kitchen. We discussed the existence of the gun among the other things until we were interrupted by a loud sound coming from the kitchen. Our whole group went over at once to see what was going on, and there we found Lau destroying the kitchen oven as a means to test the rules. Lau announced that he would solve the killing game and went to the 3rd floor. Lau said he would solve the killing game and abandoned to the 3rd floor to look for more clues. All the while clutching the secret note from yesterday. He left the kitchen and took the elevator up as the rest of us remained in the foyer confused. Shortly after, Cyrus appeared at the top of the 2nd floor stairs, causing someone to act. Oh, Missy. Shortly after, Lau departed for the 3rd floor. Cyrus made an appearance at the top of the 2nd floor stairs. Missy went up to confront Cyrus by having a conversation with him in the jazz club. The rest of us went in to investigate the 3rd floor for an escape route. I believe it's worth mentioning that Cannon and Forte went up first with me and Ashley following afterward. None of us took the gun. From the looks of it, Missy and Cyrus' conversation in the jazz club is a gray area that none of us were privy to. Can you explain yourself and why we shouldn't be suspicious of a private altercation moments before his murder? I was attempting to extract information from him. How do y'all know he was acting intensely suspicious yesterday? However, rather than avoid him, I thought to take action and confront him head first. You mentioned this before, but can you explain why you think he's putting on a facade? I mean, for all we know, every word of his mouth could be a lie. Body language. Huh? Body language? Seems Cannon noticed it as well. Cyrus' body language gives off as the impression that he's tense, as if he were being pressured or under stress. Actually speaks louder than words after all. That's true. I did think he looked a little more foreboding than usual. Ultimately, did you get anything from him? Wasn't many lot. He was just the same stubbornly cryptic person as he was last night.
So that's it?
An echo's recollection of people involved with the murder weapon whose name came up several times. Missy. So don't you think your course of actions would heavily imply murderous intent that led to this circumstance? Missy, just tell me she did it, bro. Like, yes. Cyrus strenuously pointed toward me being the one behind it all, but I don't wish to divulge the reasons behind those actions. I didn't want to admit it, but was begging Missy was beginning to have my doubts about Missy. But if this discussion was worth anything, it had to be a test, whether or not I could really trust Missy. She revealed the gun after all, and asked us to tactically trust her. Should I even trust her to begin with? What if she was goading someone on to be incriminated so she could get away with it? Should I trust Missy? Yes. I want to believe in her. That meant scrutinizing her actions to free her from suspicion. We couldn't afford to jump to conclusions. If I may, I think we need to turn over as many questionable facts as we can to lift suspicion. I agree. The evidence is unmistakably painted with Missy's name, but I'm still not convinced she would have the malicious intent to kill Cyrus. Missy was the one who suggested splitting up to find things that could threaten Cyrus into talking, but she made it clear that she never had any intention of firing the gun. Is that so? It was after she had her conversation with Cyrus in the morning. Our morning group of Cannon, Forte, and Ashley myself spread off to investigate the 3rd floor of an escape route. After some time, Missy met up with me and Ashley outside the garage to talk about Cyrus' weird behavior. It was then that she discussed with Ashley the idea of threatening Cyrus to talk. This was just before the shots began. Then it's clear that she used that opportunity to act alone and retrieve the gun herself to shoot Cyrus. How bringing that up lifts suspicion for Missy. If anything, it's more damning proof. scared the shit out of my ass.
That's my cue.
Just a minute, please. What I don't understand is this. Why would Missy kill Cyrus if she didn't get the information she wanted? I can only assume the following for her case. She made an attempt to have a civil conversation with Cyrus only to walk away empty-handed. The motivation is lost and there shouldn't be any reason to threaten him further in that case.
Well, sure, make something up in her defense, will you?
I can't doubt Missy now. She's the one who made the bold move of bringing the gun to our attention. I have to trust that she didn't do anything wrong. Fuck. There's no telling what transpired between Missy and Cyrus. Seeing all of us witness her contentious interaction within the jazz club, it might take some work to get Lyle on the other side. Fuck.
Missy could be lying about not getting information, just like how she's withholding her alibi. Give up. Why would she be protecting the culprit? Missy is the only one with actions of glaring, noteworthy suspicion, and if you can disprove it, then by all means, this can be part of her plan to lead us in circles during the discussion with her lofty admissions. There's no okay. It's the first one. It's not necessarily protecting the corporate as it is trusting Missy didn't have malicious intentions. That's nonsense. There's no hard proof in something like trust. If you blindly trust everyone who just acts you, nothing would get done. Shoot, he has a point. Oh, what the fuck? Wait, what? Hang on just a minute. We need to discuss every aspect of this case before jumping into any conclusions. I believe there's something at the crime scene that can clear Missy's suspicion. Then, out with it. Is there any evidence that can prove Missy's innocence? The gun! She didn't have blood! She didn't have blood in her hand. It's the only thing I can think of, but I need to spin this into an argument somehow. There's only 2 people with blood covered on their hands, Ashley. Although it's been noticed several times that the gun put Missy in a dangerous situation, there's something strange about the gun. Lyle, say, there's something I want you to recall for me. Before discovering the body, you 2 ran into Missy on the 3rd floor in the main hall, correct? Yeah, that was right before I helped you out for the art gallery. If that's the case, I want to ask, did you see blood on her hands? Blood on her hands? Nothing of that sort. So you didn't see blood stuck to her hands, but there was blood stuck to the handle of the gun. If Missy really did kill Cyrus by shooting him, why did she have blood stuck to her hands when you saw her? You wouldn't be able to forget seeing something shocking like blood-stained hands. Simple answer. Missy could have washed her hands. When Ted and I approached her to the 3rd floor, I saw Missy exit one of the personal rooms. She refuses to share her alibi because she must have been plotting to her crime with an accomplice on the 3rd floor. That's why she was acting fishy when Law and I ran into her. Huh? I thought I heard something like that outside the garage doors. Oh yeah, that conversation. I heard parts of a conversation just before I called for help. Now that I think about it, I think I can figure out who was speaking at the time. Missy, you must be a raving madman if you think you can run around the building alone. I'm not doing anything suspicious. I'm doing everything I can to get us out of here, like the rest of you. What were you doing poking around in one of the 3rd floor person rooms anyway? How did you even get in there? That is none of your business. So you heard that? Yes. Saying I caught Missy in the act. She was poking around in one of the 3rd floor personal rooms. How do you suppose she entered the room? She entered the room using that residence bracelet. How else would she have gotten in? The door was still intact, so it's not like Missy broke it down. The residence room bracelet. How could she have acquired such a thing? I can only assume whatever Missy and Cyrus talked about earlier might have to do with the fact that she acquired something couldn't possibly belong to her. In fact, the idea alone of her entering someone else's room is cause for concern. That's true. How does she enter someone else's room? The mechanism for room entry lies in our personally assigned bracelets. Similar to how the bracelets grant access to kiosk functions, the door must default to being locked and only unlocked when we're nearby with the corresponding bracelet. There, the bracelets on our person can't unlock the doors that don't match. So Missy entered a room that is not hers implies she gained access through alternate means. Well, alternative means, that's what you said earlier. What else? She was witness speaking to the only other student here that has been revealed to be associated with the killing game, Cyrus. Missy, I don't think it's you, but you're not giving me too many options. Fine, I'll yield. Cyrus offered me the bracelet of a student I was closely acquainted with. Out of morbid curiosity, I was told to visit her room.
Missy withdrew a small rose gold bracelet similar to the ones we wore ourselves. It was neon pink. So yes, not only do I have the bracelet on my person, but I do have a bracelet that does not belong to me. As for what I discovered in the room, well, that's not as much as I'd like to say.
And that's more than enough. There we have it. That explains how she gained entry into the room, as well as lists of reasons for her to retaliate against Cyrus. If that doesn't pin Missy down for a motive, then I don't know what will.
She had such a thing this whole time. How was I supposed to defend something like that? So much evidence has stacked against Missy. Despite the overwhelming number of incriminating facts against her, Missy remained unflinching. It's like she's just waiting for what? For us to act on her behalf? Out of trust? Remember, to use the gun to threaten him into talking. Make no mistake, I have absolutely no intention of firing it, but Cyrus doesn't need to know that. If Missy's been withholding about her alibi, then there must be a reason behind it. I have to try to work with it rather than against it. I have to trust Missy's intentions, therefore I should try to consult an argument that doesn't involve her. Is there another angle I can approach this by? Before we learned of her activity in the room, we were in the middle of disputing the bloodstained gun. La has been aggressively utilizing the connection between Missy and the gun for his argument. But let's say we take her out of the picture. Say she never came in contact with the gun. Perhaps we can tackle the argument from a different side. With just the gun solely in question, we can ask, who really handled the gun? Who handled the gun? Fine. Why don't we entertain the thought? Given the bloodstained handle of the gun, whoever held the gun must have stained their hands in the process. There can only be two people who handled it, Cyrus and Ashley. So there we have it. Echo, do you think Ashley is capable of killing? What? They played this song too? No way. Ash would never. After I'm certain she knows of the dangers of killing someone in her own life would be on the line. So what? This is the only explanation plausible if we take your position of Missy's innocence into consideration. If Ashley's life were threatened, don't you think she would retaliate? Anyone would fight back. Fight or flight, Echo. There were clear signs of struggle in the smoke lounge after all. That can't be it. Besides, you confirmed it yourself. We recognize that everyone has an alibi. We've been neglecting talking about Ashley since she's unconscious. Wait, no. So if you really want to stand by Missy being untrustworthy, then you have to realize there must be someone else within our group that killed him. No, Ash doesn't have a motive either. Yes, she does. Echo, think about it. Throw away your relation to Ashley and think logically. Just because she isn't here to defend herself doesn't mean she's immune to being suspected. No. No. My head was pounding. I began to feel dizzy. If Ashley had the rope, we were together on the second floor, and there was no rope to be found at the crime scene. She must have bound the doors of the gallery. Say confirmed that the rope kept me locked in the gallery. This song is scary as shit. Fuck. Ashley yelled out and left to confront something. If you think about it, whoever handled the gun, it can only be those two people. No, I don't want to think about it. Please, stop this. Bitch ass boy. They don't want to discuss Ashley's involvement due to her close retaliation, but there might be something important that we're missing. Something important that Echo only knows. Echo is guarding something, but they've painted themselves into a corner. There's no clean way to get out of this mess. Yikes. Wait, what? Echo, you're good over there? I'm scared. Did I fuck up? I can't accept this. If Echo refuses to understand that Ashley is the only person who is capable of handling the gun and shooting Cyrus, then I have to lay out the pieces for them. Echo, allow me to discuss the facts. All of them. Even the unsavory, trifling matters will come to play, just like when you were the one who noticed Art slipped up. If you insist on protecting Missy, there's no one whose actions remain to be scrutinized. And Ashley is the culprit in question. Do you have any objections? I apologize, Echo. This topic cannot be ignored. Yeah, this is pretty important. The rest of the class remained silent as Echo glared a hole in me. Again, let us begin with the weapon. Mystery gun, the mysterious gun that came from Missy's possession. Fuck, I hate playing this game because every time I play, I feel like someone's behind me and I get scared. But fuck it. Seeing as the gun handle was stained with blood, we can summarize only two people were in contact with it. As we found in the crime scene, both Cyrus and Ashley had blood stained all over their hands, which naturally leads us to believe one of them fired the gun. I can concur with the assumption. As for how it came to appear on the third floor, just before the gunfire occurred, Ashley and I had to plan to confront Cyrus. I was to use the gun as a show of threat. However, when I went to retrieve it from the foyer, it was missing before I had got to it. It's plausible Cyrus got to it before you. Regretfully so.
And at the speculative time in question, Cyrus is the only possible suspect to have initially retrieved the gun. Since Echo, Ashley, Kenneth, and Forte were elsewhere, now I believe we can all agree based on the sounds we heard, there were 4 shots fired in total. In that case, we need to determine the order and relevance of each shot. Hanon and I boarded ourselves in the garage on the 3rd floor after the first shot rang out from the smoking lounge. We sheltered ourselves inside from there on out. And Loud and I partnered up after the second, but we were all the way on the 1st floor, so we can't determine these first shots were not life-threatening ones, since no one was within the vicinity of the smoke lounge, and there was 2 gunshots in the hall. However, between the 2nd and the 3rd shot is where Ashley's alibi becomes problematic. You're wrong! Okay. There's nothing wrong with Ashley's alibi. I can verify it for her. I was with Ashley from when she went to the 2nd floor to the climbing center, as well as she went to the 3rd floor. What clue provides Echo and Ashley were separated? You're missing a piece in your argument. I'm sorry, Echo. But didn't you say Ashley shoved you in the art gallery just before you heard the 3rd shot? The rope binding the doors proved that there were a moment that you two were separated from sight. It's possible that she entered the smoke lounge in that time frame. In that case, the final shot ought to be the one that killed Cyrus. The only person left with an alibi gives Echo's testimony of the culprit's last movement. The only person left is Ashley. Oh my gosh, bro. No! Ash yelled Missy's name. It's possible Missy was within the vicinity of the smoking lounge. After all, Missy's actions on the 3rd floor are all strange. We can't ignore that. Echo is struggling trying to protect Ashley. What do we do? If there's anything you can think of that will cut through Echo's lies, tell them that the truth is out there. I don't think so. I think it's this. Wait, that's not possible. Remember, Lyle and I saw Missy exiting a personal room. She had just come out of the personal room when we arrived, and only then began to act suspiciously. I suppose I ought to surrender holding my tongue. Yes, I was withholding of my alibi earlier, but the point of the secrecy has passed now that my whereabouts have come into direct question. I kept my alibi secret to prevent beginning today's deliberation with immediate worry and delusionment. I confess Cyrus bestowed upon me a terrible gift, this bracelet. It allowed me access to a room that was not mine or belonging to a close personal acquaintance. I hold in my thoughts often. I entered the room upon Cyrus. Saw an instruction that I see for myself was becoming this person. I discovered nothing, save for my fears becoming reality. My alibi is simply as follows. I did not leave the 3rd floor personal room I gained entry to after I heard the 2nd gunshot. Therefore, I did not see Ashley on the 3rd floor after all. It took long enough to get that testimony out of you. But in that case, Ashley really is the only possible person to have encountered Cyrus in the smoke. Alright, let's get it over with, bro. I'm gonna be real, let's go. Therefore, we can assume from the appearance of the room that Ashley and Cyrus fought in the duration of time between the 3rd and 4th shot. Oh my fuck! Echo! Fucking shit! The smoke lounge was in a state of disarray, but the casino wasn't. Ashley's body was found in the casino, so it's possible she never even set foot in the smoke lounge. No, there's no visible evidence of the two fighting. I already see it. The two being separated means they didn't get into strife. Echo knows very well there were very clear signs of strife. The glass, bro. Echo, your judgment is... Let me put these back on. I'm getting mad, I'm sorry. Echo, your judgment is clouded, and I think you know that. There was glass and blood littered near Ashley's unconscious body in the casino that could have only come from one place. The casino itself was spotless, free of signs of struggle. The detritus leading from the smoke lounge to the casino, however, tells a different story. With all these facts in mind, let's review. We've all discovered everyone's paired alibis, Missy's room activity, and Echo's equipment in the art gallery, and the relation to the gunshot timeline frees them from suspicion. We also determined Cyrus was the one who was initially wielding the gun, and that Ashley had plans to counter Cyrus' scheme. In a small period during which Ashley and Echo were separated, a struggle occurred between Ashley and Cyrus in the smoke lounge just across the hall, resulting in this orderly state of the room. And yeah, at the end of it, one person came out alive and the other dead. Echo, you have to see that the culprit behind this is plain as day. What? No. I'm not doing it. Face the facts. There's only one possible answer. I refuse.
I don't even recall Ash considering Cyrus a threat. So what motive would she have to kill him anyway? Echo, why are you lying? I couldn't be further from the truth. There must be someone, anyone else involved. Anyone but her. I can't scream, y'all. I'm sorry. Jeez. Echo, you really are a stubborn one. Don't you understand the danger we're in? Please, Echo. I understand that this is a painful realization for you. We are just as mortified that such dreadful thing has happened. It's awful, but there has to be a reason, right? No. If there is a reason, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why would Ash endanger herself like this? Throwing her life away like this? It seems so careless. Based on Ashley's suggested action, it's hard to believe she was negligent about the fact of facing danger, but why would Ash endanger herself like this? Don't real life like this. It's so careless. There's something else that needs to be brought to Echo's attention. Oh, the kiosk! I believe I have the answer. Or rather, we all do. It seems Echo didn't see the kiosk message. Kiosk message? Remember, the digital kiosk can deliver the dictated messages across the other kiosks in the building. That's correct. Cannon and I saw the messages as we waited out the gunfire in the garage. This message was dictated from the smoke lounge sometime after the third shot was fired. I recall it read, "Kill Echo."
Yep, that's exactly right. No one asked you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even turn it on. Oh, I remember now. When I saw the second floor kiosk light up while we were running by.
Come on!
So far they have, oh my god. You heard the gunfire too, right? So far there have been, I'm about to get mad, bro. It's doing that shit again. So far there have been 3 shots. Where the hell did a gun come from? How should I know? Hey, slow down. I can't keep up.
We can't take our sweet time in a moment like this.
Oh, look. The kiosk is displaying a message. Kill Echo. The smoke lounge that's on the 3rd floor. I can't talk, bro. Fuck. I never saw such a thing, but it's awfully damning in what is implying. It is implying. I concur. It's quite a pointed message. In that case, we can assume that Echo might have actually been Cyrus' intended target. Echo actually didn't endanger herself out of carelessness, but for your sake. Exactly. She threw her life into the fray to keep you safe. Then, little doubt that the full shot must have been the one to kill Cyrus. Shot fired after Ashley left Echo's side. I don't understand. Why for me? I'm not like the rest of you. I'm no ultimate student. I can't survive this strife between ultimates. I don't have skills or talents to offer the world. It should have been me at the opposite end of the gun. Pardon me. The voice of Eve interrupted the looming courtroom silence. I have an update up on Ashley's health. She is steadily recovering at the moment. She's okay. However, I discovered traces of Complex 53 in her system. Complex 53? Is that not the very substance Zero threatened time and time again to the release? Yes, I examined the bracelet in her possession. It appears the glass vial has been shattered, allowing the liquid state to enter her system via absorption through skin. Shattered? It's plausible that it broke from some kind of impact from Cyrus and Ashley's fight. Just a minute. The bracelet in her possession. Is it not her own bracelet? It is not. She had in possession the bracelet of silver power. Ashley's bracelet is still intact. If she had Silver's bracelet, then there's no doubt she had a clear motive. It's possible she was goaded on by Cyrus with the bracelet of an important figure, just as Missy was. No way! Cyrus probably just broke the vial himself and administered the liquid ash in their fight. Or Zero could have unleashed it to harm her. Zero's killing game announcement always talks about toxic gases, so it's oh my gosh, Echo, fuck. So it's possible he's the one behind it. Damn it, Echo, thank you. I'm tired of this. You still refuse to accept the reality of this case. Zero can't have done it, and I'll tell you why. It's simply not even up for debate. I was testing the rules early this morning, right? Rule 4 states that breaking major acids is strictly prohibited, but nothing happened all day. It was only until the beginning of this very trial I suffered the effects of Zero's sonic super weapon as a punishment for breaking the rules. If he waited until we entered the trial grounds to punish me, why would he unleash the Complex 53 toxin if there wasn't any signs of Ashley breaking the rules? Zero. Did you or did you not release Complex 53 out to Ashley?
What? I'm only the arbitrator of this game.
Answer!
Nope, didn't do it.
No, this can't be. You still don't get it. We've been running around in circles in this trial because you vehemently refuse to face the truth. Don't you have any value in your life? Your lapse in judgment is what will get us all killed. Thank you, bro. End this shit. Lyle, have some sympathy, won't you? But I have to agree with you. Echo, please. This trial is difficult enough to participate in, but it's necessary to determine the culprit for our safety. Allow yourself to be selfish and act self-preservation instead of on the well-being of others. Don't concern yourself with protecting me. Don't concern yourself with speaking for Ashley. You only end up hurting yourself if we judge this case incorrectly. Just follow the truth and you can protect yourself. I know we're asking a lot, Sister Truth. This is what you want to hear, but please. Protect myself? What did that mean? I thought I had to protect Missy on behalf of trust. She placed her faith in us after us. Oh my gosh, she placed her faith in us after all. I had to protect Ashley because she's my closest friend, but myself? I felt stuck. I know Missy didn't kill Cyrus, I just know it. And it was impossible for anyone else to have killed him, so the answer was clear as day. I just didn't want to accept it, but by doing so I was drawing out this trial for my own self-indulgence and dragging everyone else through this hell. I've forgotten the reasons we're here, to save ourselves, and I've purposely suppressed the fact that there was something on the crime scene that solidified Ashley's involvement. I saw the damning thing, and I chose to forget it. Yes, the weapon was undebatable. The culprit had a motive. The struggle showed traces of her involvement. The person who fought Cyrus and actually won is Ashley Westbridge killed Cyrus. Ashley. Oh, she's here? I'm going to take this law in. I'm going to take this law in conversation to assume you're all done discussing the case. Yeah, after all, it was pretty obvious from the start. Well, whatever. This is space anyway, so without further ado, it's voting time. Where is she? Yes, the culprit responsible for the murder of Cyrus Suryc is none other than ultimate jockey Ashley Westbridge. And most of all, you all voted correctly. Luckily, majority rules, so it's punishment time. Wow, we don't even get to talk to her one last time. Wait, what did you mean by that? Almost all of us voted correctly. Ah, well, I guess it's my fault for not mentioning that. Not voting is a big no-no, but voting should be common sense. You have a responsibility to make your voice heard. Lives are on the line, or something like that. Missy would know. Don't rope me into this argument. Think of it this way: you're voting for the lesser of two evils. Punish one person for committing a crime, or punish everyone for being ignorant. But I could see in Echo's face that they figured it out, so I suppose I'll call it a vote. Aren't I just the nicest, most flexible judge ever? Not doing this laugh. Echo, you didn't vote? Yes, I did. How could I? Unbelievable. If everyone's lives are at stake and you still had the audacity to protect the culprit, you're a hopeless case, Echo. I don't understand how you fail to recognize the weight of our actions. The truth is glaringly obvious and you continue to turn away. You have no perception of the consequence. How dare you refuse to give all in order to save yourself? Why are you attacking me? Alright, get it over with. This thing that just happened to my best friend, it's awful. Do you know how I feel too, Lyle? We've already lost 3 friends. Why does this cycle keep turning? Of course I know how you feel, but it's pointless to let this spin out like this. So I'm turning my best to solve this killing game. I don't need you turning your cheek away from reality. That will only make things worse. I looked over to Ashley, who recovered enough strength to join us in the courtroom, and at the last moments of our discretion, Ash, I don't get it. To protect me, you threw yourself in danger? Ashley, you need to tell me something, girl. And look at where it got you. At the foot of an execution. Ash, you're such an idiot. How could you do something so careless? Ashley, talk to me, girl. Echo, I thought about nothing but your safety. Huh?
All I've ever wanted is the safety and health of my friends. But look what rotten trouble I get everyone into. First Silva, and now Echo. Maybe it's better like this. Echo, you don't have to worry about me anymore. Thank goodness, right? If I was in that trial, you wouldn't have budged and you might have voted Missy off instead. At least you know you can trust her. What are you saying? I thought that if I could remove a threat from this horrible games, my actions would have all been worth it. But it turns out, Cyrus was just asking for this. Cyrus used Silver's bracelet as a show of threat that the reason he had it and Silver didn't was because Cyrus said that he had eliminated him. Isn't that right? He said the same thing to me when I received my additional bracelet. Cyrus, ultimate confidential informant, knew things we would soon rather forget, and he used that information to get under our skin. I told you, he's someone to be wary of. So Ashley essentially lost us the Preservation Project's mole. What if he had information that could have gotten us out? Oh, he had information alright, but he would never tell. Zero's right. When I confronted him to inquire about his facade, he kept dodging my questions. He was acting so odd. As it appears, his strange behavior wasn't all according to plan. He was acting suspicious to invite someone into attacking him, and I completely fell for it. But I felt terrible after because when he collapsed, his aggressive facade faded and he laughed. He was glad. Yes. Cyrus fully intended to take someone down with him. Cyrus filled those initial 2 shots to draw attention. I arrived on the third floor with Echo. I ushered into the art gallery and bound the doors with rope from the climbing center. I confronted Cyrus in the smoke lounge and he fired right away. The third shot was a near miss. Cyrus! Not a step closer, Ashley, unless you'd like to end up like your friend Silva. What do you know about Silva? I know everything there is to know. Financial records, personal records, etc. After all, I'm the ultimate confidential informant. My job is to seek information about the Preservation Project subjects. I personally saw to his removal. And you're next. Not if I have anything to say about it. Yeah? I'd act fast if I were... Oh. Yeah, I'd act fast if I were you. You wouldn't want to go down in flames without getting the information you want, would you? How did this racing helmet end up in your room? Why, by yours truly, of course. In this personal vehicle 94 Lister Storm. The very vehicle that is in the garage right now. Oh, what the fuck? Cyrus threatened me with an awful trinket and a time limit. He prepared to split gasoline and had a blowtorch ready to burn the room down if I didn't act. I fought to keep him at bay. Eventually dropped the gun. I retrieved the gun and gripped the handle fiercely, but Cyrus remained completely cool. He noticed my hesitance and slightly tossed a tiny rose gold bracelet in my direction. I snatched it out of the air. I turned it over in my hands to reveal the name engraved into it. Silver Power. Or whatever, Power, or some shit like that. What will it be, Ashley? Silver didn't have long to live anyway, so why not just expedite his demise? What do they mean Silver didn't have long to live? Quiet! Let's play a game. There's 2 more bullets somewhere in that chamber. If you fire and I live, I'll let you walk away, scot-free. Your hands would be clean and you were meant to be an ultimate student, born to benefit the world. If you fire and I die, then... Of course, you know what happens, but in his last moments, he just lets out a chuckle and a sigh of relief. He looked relaxed. He looked as calm as when we first met him. I was confused. Why wasn't he fighting back at all? You're a tough nut to crack, you know. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to save you. I know I took a chance with the shot, but there has to be another answer. The Preservation Project is a miserable organization that I contributed to. I rallied the group of ultimate students, complied all the information I could about you all for the project. The project and their game is a cruel experiment, all for the sake of the future. Why are you telling me this? So you will feel guilty about killing me. But how could I not feel guilty? There could have been some other way to get you out of this mess. Cyrus, I don't understand. Why did it have to come to this? Because I thought I had immunity from the game. Mauricio would call me out for my cover talent. I knew something was wrong. Why would Zero, an arbitrator for the killing game conducted by the Preservation Project, wish to reveal my place in the game? Something was wrong. It's all wrong. This whole game is all wrong. I couldn't wrap my head around the thing he was saying. I didn't dare to wish to know what he was talking about. What's wrong? He coughed out a small chuckle. I made you do a horrible thing. The problem with this game is that you became attached to ones you're with. As time goes on, bonds are made with strangers you eventually come to call your friends. I should have never involved myself with y'all. I couldn't meet his eyes. I knew it would be too painful. He might hate me for this, but it's better for you and for me when in the game is nothing but smoke and mirrors. I'm sorry, but thank you for helping me escape this game. He held my hands, because I just realized Ashley is doing all this. He held my hands in his own trembling grasp, weakly pushing my attempts at stopping his suffering away. After I shot him, I knew immediately what terrible fate I found myself in. I was tethered to meet the same end the moment I fell into his trap. I fled the scene, leaving it a mess because I knew it would be pointless to conceal the truth. But even though I knew the trial discussion would trace back to my incrimination, that's why I went so far as to shatter the vow of accomplice fake the street self-electly and to take myself out the picture. Ash, why would you do such a thing to yourself? It's awful. I know. Please don't hate me and forgive me for making such a selfish request, but all I ask is that you live and survive. I did it all for you.
Oh, that's so sweet, but too bad for you. That sticky sweat sentimentalism isn't going to save you from your execution, silly. Murder is murder. What's the thing you say? Oh, there's no gray area about it. Oh, you a bitch, bro. No, wait. No, wait. There's no point. There's no stopping this freight train of despair, Echo. You were among the ones who sealed her fate after all. So sit back and enjoy the show. Ashley's hand slipped through mine. She disappeared into black as I collapsed over myself. All I could do to pull myself up was keep my focus rather than Ashley as her horrified vision was projected over the grimace upon. I tried to soak up my final moments with her, even though I knew they were going to be gruesome. Ashley was chained to a metal post. An industrial whirring spun in my skull as a set of arms began to wind up. Clenched at the end of each arm was a horseshoe. Ashley was bound in direct path across the massive grinding machinery 40 feet away. Ashley's expression was taut. There was only one way out of this game for her, and it was winding up in front of her, just a few paces away. The first pitch was thrown. The light clinked as the arm released. The horseshoe made my heart drop. It missed her with a full thud on the dirt behind Ashley. A second, third, fourth, sixth. Pitches were thrown with abandon as if personally missing to prolong my own suffering. The anticipation was miserable. Ashley's great sword, soft I seemed to meet mine within the projector screen. I couldn't look any longer. I felt sick. I turned away in agony and heard the distinct sound of a pitch breaking bone. Fucking gruesome. I could feel the life drain from my body. There was nothing but pain during her last moments. The pain that destroyed her body and the pain that stung in her heart. I'm not doing this live. Oh, it's so satisfying building up all this hope and cheer to eventually strike it down with the decisive kill. It's a little boring though. You participants killing for defensive reasons. We didn't even give a motive, which is a bit of a curveball, but interesting that a murder cured nonetheless. Well, I mean, I suppose I did put Cyrus on blast for conniving with the preservation project group. He got in the way of the game after all, so I guess it was beneficial for me at the end. The whole trial made my head spin. I felt rash. I stared at the floor. Not a breath was heard from the others. They seemed just as stunned into silence. And in the depths of our devastation, Eve's silvery voice crept in. I beseech you all to keep the memory of your friends close. It's awful. I don't want to remember this. Remain strong. As I nursed Ashley back to health, she kept asking aloud, "Is Echo okay? Is Echo okay?" She cared for you until her very last breath. Don't think for a second she didn't put everything on the line for you. But why me? I apologize. I cannot say for certain what she was thinking except Ashley without a doubt cared for you deeply. As difficult as it is, cling to what remains of Ashley. Her memory. Really? That's all you have this time, Eve? Some empty sentimentalism? You know, Eve claims to be on your side, but look what she's done. Why not just leave Ashley to die with complex 53 poisoning Eve? Oh, I know why. Because you love reveling in despair too. She nursed Ashley back to health so I could kill her. Ashley returned to us only to be cruelly beaten to death. That sounds scary as shit, I ain't even gonna lie. I think it's the music that scares me. The moment that should have relief, it was quickly squashed. It was so quickly mutilated into twisted dark feelings. How pathetic. You'll never end the game like this. You'll fail once more. Despair will triumph over hope yet again, Eve. It's all your fault. Zero and Eve warped away and the courtroom was engulfed in silent darkness once again. Echo. Missy's voice was a whisper. She laid a gentle hand on my shoulder. Hey, let's get you out of here. I listlessly followed Missy out the courtroom. Every nose filtered out the courtroom at their own paces as well, dissolving into their own individual lost thoughts for the evening. Without a single word, Lissy led me down the living quarters, also my personal room. Before I entered, Cannon stopped me out of nowhere. I realized that must have been hard for you, Echo, but here. Just take this. It was a photo of the students gathered in the atrium. Everyone was in the photo except me and Cannon. I took this photo on the first day. It was after the first Killing Game announcement. After the Killing Game announcement? I recall the moment in time. I went into my personal room after declining Ashley's invitation to use the spa lounge with Pandora. Art insisted that I work my magic and take a photo of the group since we'd be staying together as friends in the mansion. Ashley's tall as shit. She need to get off horses and go to the fucking court. Catch some fucking rebounds. Despite the awful announcement, he still wanted to take a neat, pleasant picture. I'm a little embarrassed of it. I don't often photograph groups, but I hope this helps ease your pain. Why would you show me this? What do you mean? I don't want to see this idyllic scene of our friends who aren't with us anymore. The killings are too vivid in my mind for me to believe a simple photograph. I hate this. I'm sorry. I was just trying to help. Kenan tore the photo in half. Happy? Kenan spat her final remark with a huff before soaking off her footsteps heavy on the carpet. Missy picked up the pieces of the photograph. That was awfully cold of you, Echo. What do you want me to do? I mumbled. I have nothing to offer the world as an ultimate. I can't do anything. I feel like I lost myself in that trial. I had to detach myself from the people I care about. For what? The truth? I just scoffed. After all, it was Missy's fault a gun was introduced to the group. It was her fault the gun fell into the wrong hands. Her fault I lost Ashley. Missy sighed softly. It was never my intention to get Ashley executed. I shrugged Missy away. I didn't want to listen to her. Thank you, bro. End this episode. I went to my personal room. I sat on the bed. And I cried. I'm sorry, all these pictures is hard as shit. Art and Ashley, they did horrible things for their friends. We're impressed the two of them only thought to protect the ones important to them. What an interesting concept. It's completely idiotic though. They disregarded their lives for someone else. Selfless and stupid as they were is what they were. Selflessness gets you nothing in return. In games like this, you have to be selfish and act in self-preservation. Always look out for number one. What? Okay. Only 6 of us left, bro. Alright, y'all, that's the end of today's episode, bro. What a trial. I seen it from the start, bro. Y'all heard in episode 5, I started suspecting her. I was like, nah, something's not right with Ashley, and I was right. Like, everything was put too close together, if that makes sense. She didn't have an alibi. Everybody else did. The only other person without an alibi was Missy, but I trusted her. To be honest, I trusted her more than my best friend. I know that's crazy, but the rope, after I heard like it was tied with rope, I knew what time it was. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. I almost cried, but it's straight. It's still rest in peace to Ashley. She was still looking out for a real one, and I'm not gonna lie, in the reviews of this game, I saw there's good and a bad ending. I hope I get the good one for Ashley's sake. But that's the end of today's episode. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Lord knows I'll never keep from you. Fuck a text from my ex. I'm up next, get no rest till I'm dead. I got stone